Hey all, after just an insanely long wait, we finally have news about Diablo 4's release. So, it's going to be doing this beta weekend thing, starting March 17th to the 19th. It's going to be your first chance to play Diablo, but you have to pre-order the game to be able to get into it. They're going to have multiple weekends like that. The most important thing, guys, is you're only going to level up to 25, and all your progress will be wiped after the beta. You'll keep it within the betas, but after the beta, you will not carry that progress into the live game. Keep that in mind. The game itself, the live game, is coming out June 2nd, 2023. So if you guys want to just wait till then, you're totally fine with that. We're going to obviously get the beta, so you guys can come over to our stream and check it out and see how bad I fail at it. I played it back at BlizzCon back when that was a thing. Hopefully that's a thing again. But yeah, it felt like a really cool, more advanced version of Diablo 3, and that's exactly what I wanted. But those of you guys excited to get your hands back on Diablo, what class you wanted to play? We have some new ones in this one. We have the Druid. Let us know. What do you guys want to play? Jon Favreau explained this weekend in a recent interview that The Mandalorian's 4th season is actually already written. Now, the 3rd season is coming out on March 1st, and of course, we can't wait for that. But the reason that they have to write the 4th season ahead of time, he says, is because all the shows are connected. So they have to make sure that Ahsoka works with the 4th season. They have to make sure that, Boba Fett over here doesn't clash with anything. So all of these shows are written kind of farther out than you'd expect. Even shows like Andor and Bad Batch that don't necessarily connect real close or even at the same time, there might be references that they have to keep in mind. Now, this kind of extreme connectivity within the same timeline, no multiverses, that kind of connectivity is what James Gunn and Peter Safran are trying to achieve with the DCU. They've said that the Star Wars universe is their inspiration. Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni over at Star Wars, they're just killing it right now. Hey all, during a recent interview with Parade magazine, Orlando Bloom shared his thoughts on potentially revisiting the character Will Turner from the Pirates of the Caribbean. Essentially what he's saying is he would like to see what the character would look like after this contract that he made, making him kind of roam around the open seas. After some time, he would become a much more gruff character, and he would like to revisit that. Now, we talked about before Pirates of the Caribbean. It's in this weird flux where they're kind of making two movies. One with a female lead, one with possibly Johnny Depp as the lead. Disney's been trying to focus on what works. They're trying to make these new big franchises. They brought Avatar as one of their new big franchises in. Pirates of the Caribbean is a no-brainer. It's already a stable hit for them. It's just that we need to kind of scale back, much like Marvel needs to. Scale back, make the stories a little bit smaller. We don't need these big grand events like 4 and 5, or even 3, really, for being honest about it. Let's make these things a smaller story like they were in Pirates of the Caribbean 1. So, would you guys want to see Will Turner come back? And do you think Orlando Bloom really has the star power to lead a Pirates of the Caribbean movie? Microsoft has signed a 10-year contract to bring Xbox games to Nintendo consoles, which includes offering the Call of Duty game on the same day as both the Xbox and the PlayStation with full features. Gonna be a little tricky on the Switch, but remember, this is 10 years, so we're talking the next Nintendo console too. They also announced a deal with Nvidia's GeForce Now streaming service. Similar premise. The move may be aimed at addressing the antitrust concerns about Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard for $68.7 billion. Right now, Microsoft's really trying to play nice to get this deal pushed across. Sony's hitting back at them really hard. In the Europe and in the United States, they're being investigated for whether or not this will hurt competitiveness. But overall, Nintendo fans rejoice. You had a good shooter coming your way. It reminds me of like the GoldenEye days on N64, or some of those really classic shooters on the GameCube even. Call of Duty's coming back. Valve brought out the ban hammer on 40,000 players over this last 2 weeks for cheating in Dota. Now, the cheat that they were using in the game was allowing them to see game information that other players can't see. So Valve used what they're calling this honeypot system and put in a code that could only be seen if you're using the cheat, and then banned every player who was able to read that code. I really like that kind of creative way of banning players. There are times in many ban waves where somebody accidentally gets caught up and then they have to, try to get past it. Generally, though, the gaming public are fine with that. As long as you ban the 40,000 players, we're cool with 5 of them getting hit with it. But this feels like a very successful way to do it. They've also put a patch in to fix the problem so that cheat can't be used the same way again. But shout out to Valve for banning all these cheaters. Please, some of you guys go work for Activision and get Call of Duty under control. We would appreciate it. Tom Hardy has announced that the upcoming 3rd installment for Venom is in the works. They're in pre-production right now. The actor shared a behind-the-scenes video from the first movie announcing the 3rd movie's production. This likely means that we're going to be getting Venom in 2024, and the last time we saw Venom was actually in the Spider-Man movies. So I'm really hoping in this 3rd installment we get some sort of Tom Holland in there. To me, I think the Venom movies are pretty good. I've got friends that are crazy fans for these movies. But in general, I like that they kind of keep the tone the same, right? They feel the same so far. This third one I bet is going to be similar. Same actors. It's just, it feels good to have a consistent movie like this. But yeah, I assume we'll be seeing a new Venom movie somewhere around 2024. Probably summertime. Hey y'all, we learned recently that Universal Pictures is developing a live-action adaptation of DreamWorks' How to Train Your Dragon. They're expecting this movie to release March 14th, 2025. It's already on the calendar. They're bringing back Dean DuBois. He's going to be doing the writing, directing, everything for this one. He's the one that did the trilogy beforehand, so it'll have probably that same tone. I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of adult this up a little bit. Obviously, we're seeing a lot of dragons. We got the whole House of the Dragon. We've got Game of Thrones. It's a good time to get into the dragon business right now. And the original trilogy was a hit, bringing $1.6 billion for just kind of, lesser known animated movies. I'm sure you all knew about the first one. A lot of you knew about the second one. Who went and saw the third one? $1.6 billion amongst the three. So obviously, if you make a live action, really glossy looking version of this with Toothless, oh man, with those House of Dragons graphics, this is going to be a smash hit. So Universal back in a big project here. They're bringing back Dean to do this whole project, coming out March 14th, 2025. Hey, I want to start this one off by clarifying this is all a rumor. It's starting to become a little bit more valid, and we'll talk about that at the end. So, the rumor is that Spider-Man will be leading the Avengers in Phase 6, through basically 2 of the Avengers movies, possibly 3. The other 2 parts of this rumor is that they might be trying to fit a Spider-Man movie in between the 2 Avengers movies, so Spider-Man 4 fitting right in between. There's plenty of space there, they just haven't announced it yet. And the last part of this rumor is that Tom Holland just signed this monster contract with Marvel. A very Iron Man level contract. Now there's been this big power vacuum in the Avengers, right? Basically the Avengers aren't even assembled. But Cap is gone, Iron Man's gone, Black Panther's gone. All these big characters that were kind of set up to be the leaders are all gone. And Spider-Man in the comics has led the Avengers plenty of times. He's very good at strategy. Now these are rumors, we don't normally share rumors, but 2 things on this. First off, it's being shared by My Time to Shine Hello on Twitter. They're a pretty good leaker, right? There's not been a lot of times I can think of that they've messed up. While we have no named sources or anything like that, this is a pretty solid one. It's also being echoed by content creators that I trust, like Charlie from Emergency Awesome. He's starting to mention this now, and he is very informed. So if he's saying it, there's something to it. There's also this theory going out there that in Secret Wars, we're going to see all the Fox properties come back. We're going to see the original Fantastic Four, everything Sony touched. We might have multiple Hulks, who knows? And they're all going to kind of die at that point, which is when they would die. And what other character could lead the Avengers and has experience with dealing with past versions of themselves? I mean, it's literally just Spider-Man, right? So there's something there. There's a little bit of volition in that. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think Tom Holland Spider-Man could lead the Avengers? We're talking Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel, right? Some of these big names. Could they follow Tom Holland's lead? What do you think? Hey all, during Sony's State of Play this February, we learned that the new Rocksteady game, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, will be live service for both single player and co-op. You will have to be connected to online. I know that's a big downside for a lot of players, including myself. I probably will check out the game, but I don't think I'll get it day 1 anymore. It's unfortunate. But day 1 will be May 26th on the PS5, Windows, and Xbox Series X and S. We also learned during that State of Play that Baldur's Gate 3 finally has a release date for August 31st, 2023, coming out on PC and PlayStation 5. Learned that we are getting Mortal Kombat 12 this year. Now, this is what's crazy about that. We also have Street Fighter 6 coming out this year, and it sounds like we're also getting Tekken 8 this year. The 3 biggest names in fighting games all coming out in 1 year. This is going to make the esports scene crazy. And we might get an announcement at E3 that would coincide with a sequel announcement for the Mortal Kombat movie. Hey y'all, there's a lot going on today, so we're just going to go over some quickies real fast. First off, there's going to be a new Nintendo Direct. It's going to be focused solely on the movie. That's going to be on March 9th. We're going to live stream it as well, and then recap it here on TikTok and YouTube. We've got new Marvel Legends series action figures for the Guardians of the Galaxy. We also have a Funko Pop that shows Groot having wings. Now, I've looked around in the comic books, like, I didn't read Guardians of the Galaxy comic books. I don't know anybody who has, but I've never seen him with wings before. So there's a whole new thing that's coming with the movie, I think. Let me know if you guys are familiar with him having wings in the past, because this is new to me. Not sure how they would work. There's a monster new patch coming to Amazon's New World. Now the game's switching over to a season pass system where you could pay for like extra perks or go free and not get those extra perks. You still unlock some stuff. This is all coming out March 28th. It has a slew of new things. We have an article on our website, geekfreakspodcast.com, if you guys want to read through it. It's everything. Or gfpods.com. There's multiple addresses. Check it out. Good morning, everybody. Warner Brothers Discovery has announced during its earnings earnings call, they will be making more Lord of the Rings movies. This is part of a multi-year deal with the Embracer Group, who bought the rights last year for the Lord of the Rings library. Couple of things. First off, this is not going to touch anything that Amazon does. They have different kind of rights. Amazon has to stick to what they have. These are like straight up Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, those stories. Next, I've also read that they're trying to get Peter Jackson back on board to make these movies. So you're going to have the director from The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings directing these new projects, hopefully. And lastly, these are not a Lord of the Rings reboot. There are a lot of companies out there already saying it is, but they specifically said, like, we're trying to tell stories at the same time as Lord of the Rings, not Lord of the Rings. Now, can that change? Absolutely. But as for now, they are not reboots. I think they need to kind of go back to their roots and show more practical effects. Kind of what we saw with Star Wars, right? As much as I'm actually a prequel fan, generally the idea was when JJ took over, hey, we're going to go back to the original things. And as I'm even saying that, yeah, the third JJ movie was awful too. We can't have anything nice, right? But do you guys want more Lord of the Rings content? Firaxis Games has announced that they're developing a new Civilization game. This is going to be within the main line, so it's going to be like a Civilization 7. They just haven't said that name yet. We haven't had a new Civ game since the 2016 version, Civ 6. Now, this might be the most addictive game on PC, right? That whole thing of like, just one more turn, and then you notice it's 4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, that's the Civ life. Firaxis got a little delayed on this one because they were working on the Marvel game that just came out recently, which has been a slow start, but it's starting to pick up steam, and they're going to keep backing that game until it's a success. Now, if you're a fan of Civ like me, you've been waiting for this for a while. They kind of retired the old game, although I play it frequently. They kind of retired the old game a while back now, so we're waiting for that announcement. We finally have it. I would suspect it's going to be another few years at minimum. I mean, I'm talking like 4 years probably, but at least it's in development, and until then, hit me up on Steam if you guys want to play some Civ 6, because that's still a classic game, and I'm about ready to play it again.